just noticed. Are there any summoner spells or rune choices that are standing out as particularly odd to you? We do see I'm Furby in the jungle for Darkside rather than Cast. I can't remember exactly when that swap came through, but I know Cast was jungling during a large portion of the regular season for Darkside. Not 100% sure why that swap will have come through.
Yeah, I feel like that swap, obviously I don't know who's played in the regular season, but I feel like maybe that swap's come around quite a... not expected, really, because I feel like Cast, obviously, like he was there in the regular season, they'd surely want to keep him for playoffs, so...
Yeah. But both junglers are going to be starting on their blue buffs, so we likely won't see any contested Scuttle Crabs in this early game, barring some chaos. I'm not sure who would win out over in the Nocturne versus Diana 1 versus 1 anyway. You would expect the Diana to have the support of the Lucian. Obviously, the ranged versus melee matchup in the mid lane, as we see Chaos Senpai really looking to beat up Zalek early in this matchup. Set definitely having the advantage in that early trading. Got a lot more sustain with that passive to get himself through, and the left and right hooks really able to put through some of that damage.
Yeah, I'm interested in some of the personal... before we get into the action, I'm interested in the sort of personal stories between some of these players. Like, Frilla, obviously we've seen in, for example, SEO and some Swedish leagues before. Donponk has been a small fixture in an Invul team before. Kralix obviously comes from
Donponk a role swap?
No, he was support. He was a support player.
Oh, okay.
Floops, obviously, we've heard before. So the bot lane is, in my opinion, in terms of the players, definitely the place to watch here.
I mean, yeah, the only other real recognizable name here that I've seen, mainly being I'm Furby, who I believe we saw in TES in 2020 summer.
Yeah.
So that would be the only other massively recognizable name in this game for me. But definitely all these players are going to be putting on a good show for us today. And it's all looking relatively even if we move through this early game. A couple of CS deficits emerging in the bot and mid lanes, but Kog'Maw Braum into Ashe Lulu, I think you probably expect that.
Who do you think should be winning the first like 3 levels here in the bot lane then?
I would say it would be Ashe Lulu, just through the amount of poke that they're able to throw out with the Glitter Lance volley combo. Braum, you don't really have enough points in the Unbreakable shield yet, so you can't really block enough of that damage, and you also don't have that natural tankiness that comes with the levels. So you can't really eat too much poke.
Yeah.
And you don't, and then you lack that range as well. You can fire back quite a lot with the Kog'Maw, so I'm expecting Floops will be able to get quite a lot of work done. Obviously has the living artillery on that W, extends the attack range by a disgusting amount.
Donponk stepping up a bit ballsy here.
Yeah, but he knows he has that range advantage, has the polymorph or the whimsy speed up if he does need it to get himself out of there. We see a lot of trading them in the top side.
Okay.
Chaos Senpai being taken out, solo kill from Zalek. The Renekton really showing the advantages that he can have. I believe got the shield break there onto the Haymaker.
That's going to be TP advantage top lane as well.
Yeah, well, unless we see Zalek decide to teleport straight back into his lane here. Is going to be a pause, though. We are going to have the pause bug, so give us a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a moment, guys. We just got to... You've always got to jump back after you get a pause because the game freezes. Because small indie company.
Another thing that obviously we have a difference in the mid lane, we have Ignite versus TP. Bot lane we have Heal and Exhaust versus the Cleanse on the side of the Vanir team. So there's some differences. Obviously in some games you can get TP mid lane, Heal bot lane, and it's kind of just the same every game. But this time we definitely have some differences. So that's something to keep in the mind for the later game.
I think that's team comp dependent though. You see Denzel being taken very low in the mid lane from Fatty P. The Unbreakable Shield really gonna save Kralix and Floops there from losing too much of those health bars. Keeping the turret plates alive because it enables them to stick around and catch that big wave that is going to crash. But I think what you were touching on with the Ignite is we did see that thrown down in the mid lane. Teleport is going to be answered from Denzel as he eats a piercing light as the teleport finishes.
Lead in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, Lucian is a bit of a lane bully.
Yeah.
Especially into those melee matchups. And that will explain like the Ignite over the teleport in that scenario.
Of course, yeah, of course.
I have to say I was a bit surprised Denzel didn't take something like the Exhaust, honestly. going
Yeah,
into the Lucian. I've seen
I
a
think he's
lot
just
of
thinking-
people do that when you're going into a Lucian as a melee mid laner.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about the late game. Obviously, like you mentioned earlier, you need a lot of the people on the Vanir side need to be able to do these flanks and be able to get in behind the members of the Darkside team. So maybe he's just thinking about the late game.
Taking the teleport does also open up for a potential 1-3-1 later for Vanir.
Definitely.
And
And
as
that
well
would be
with the Nocturne hovering
Yeah,
in the jungle with that
exactly.
paranoia.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the bot lane as well, I think obviously you highlighted it's heal cleanse versus heal exhaust. Floops kind of knows if he gets hit by any kind of CC, if he's trying to go beast mode in a team fight and he gets polymorphed, that's 1.5, 2 seconds where he can't do any damage. When you're a Cogmore, you can't afford to have that. Chaos Senpai, though, really in trouble here in the top lane. Gonna have to flash between the bushes. Flash forward, though, from Zalek. Jungle J with the Duskbringer. And lights out in the top lane. 0-2-0 for Chaos Senpai. Is going to be a dragon answered for Darkside, though, on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I could see the Renekton starting to trade and the Nocturne was around there, but...
Fatty P's really putting a world of hurt onto Denzel this evening.
Yeah, we definitely got some lane diffs so far.
Yeah, and then there's the bot lane, which is actually in terms of things actually been probably pretty quiet. So far.
The one that I highlighted as being the one to keep an eye on is the one that's been the most boring so far. So
I agree in terms of players, it's probably the most stacked lane though.
Yeah, but obviously we have no ignite spot lane. We've got a cleanse heal on one side, so it's going to be kind of like just a boring farm fest in the bot lane. And that's what a Cogmore wants, kind of, right? So.
Yeah, that's exactly what a Cogmore wants, and the Ashe Lulu being able to scale into team fights with all of that utility. Like when you lock in Ashe Lulu, you're not saying okay, in this case Frilla, you're not gonna hard carry this game. That's not what you're saying at all. Like, you're never going to pick an Ashe and expect the Ashe to just 1v9.
Of course, yeah.
But allowing Ashe to gain those levels to increase that frost shot slow, being able to fire out those volleys more and more regular, it's just going to enable... Darkside
getting the dive here.
in this team fight. But yeah, dive coming through. Furby and Fatty P in the area. Culling going to be thrown down. It's going to be one picked up for the Lucian. Nocturne coming in there with Paranoia. Thriller is dove on. It's a double kill for Fatty P in the mid side. Teleport down from Zalek as well. Dompog trying to flash over the wall for safety. It is going to be able to get himself out. A charged Crystal Arrow though on to Zalek as the volleys fly through. Thriller answers back with a third, and it's 3 kills for 0 on the dive in the bot lane for Lundqvist Darkside. Answering back, really helping out their top laner, honestly. Chaos Senpai actually following the teleport, so never mind.
And we kind of saw a bit about what you mentioned there. Obviously, the Nocturne being the secondary engage for the team, kind of trying to go in after obviously some ults are used on the Darkside side. So we saw obviously the Renekton coming down, and then the Renekton just got totally caught out by the Ashe ult, which we said earlier. Obviously, the ults are such a important thing for this Darkside team.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say ult reliant. They obviously can fight without those ultimates, but I think they are going to be incredibly important as this game does wind on. But really, really well executed from Darkside. Aggro was juggled, well, pretty much perfectly. No one died, so you can't really fault the aggro juggling. And yeah, really getting themselves back into this game after a bit of a rocky early game on the top side. Sure, Chaos Senpai still in a bit of a hole. 12 CS down and 2 kills down as well. But now they've lane swapped, so it doesn't even matter.
And while we've got a bit of downtime, obviously, as the season, are we in 11 now? 10? 11?
Yes, 11.
The connoisseur that you are, talk to me a bit about the builds in this game so far.
Everything looks pretty much standard. Everything, as far as I'm aware, everything looks pretty much standard. I like the fact that both AD carries went for their Berserker Greaves early. You don't particularly want Tabbies this game. You don't particularly want Mercs either. So just getting that early mobility, being able to dodge away from some of these skill shots, really going to be helpful. And now both of them going to be going into their Noon Quiver items. I'm not sure where they'll go. I'd expect probably an Immortal Shield Bow coming through from Floops. Because who doesn't love having a Shen ult as part of an item, basically. And yeah, Frilla could go for any of the three, realistically. You could take the Kraken, you could take any of them. But Kralix, looking to answer this lane swap, not going to be able to find the Winter's Bite, though.
Yeah, the Nocturne's hovering around the top lane. He does have ult up.
Yeah, they're looking for some kind of counterplay, maybe. I think if that Winter's Bite had that Winter's Bite connected onto Frilla, I think we would have seen Jungle J pull the trigger there. But now it's almost it's going to be a 4v4. Yeah, too little, too late. As Denzel is actually not going to move. He's hovering on the bot side of this river. Fatty P channeling that recall. If that recall goes through and Denzel keeps coming up, no, never mind. Not going to be completed. The Rift Herald's going to be thrown down here for Darkside. And then looking for the first turret. With the Glacial Fissure going to go down to Dissuade. There's Paranoia coming through as well. Who are they going to look for? Are they even going to go in? Or are they just going to save the turret? It looks like it's going to be the latter. Denzel is spotted on a ward, so could be in trouble here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto him, and he's chanking up for the culling, forces the flash over the wall. And Denzel just about going to keep himself alive.
Yeah, interesting fight there. Both teams seeming like they want to go in, but not really wanting to commit everything.
Yeah, it was kind of a who's going to pull the trigger first.
Yeah,
Neither of these teams seem to want to be the ones to force the engage. Obviously, as we discussed, Vanir want to look for the flanks. I don't think they had their flanks set up properly when they looked for that engage. But Darkside, they also don't want to get encircled into a fight. They want to be able to catch all 5 members of Vanir with this showstopper, with this, I believe it's called Moonfall, the Diana ultimate. Being able to catch all of the members with these big cooldowns.
Yeah, it kind of pains me seeing 8 people top lane as well when the Dragon's up in a minute and a half's time.
And now we see 6 people or 7 people from Vanir on the bot side instantly afterwards. If Darkside are able to secure this Dragon, it could be very, very big going into the mid game. But no, it's going to be stolen away by Jungle J. Fight is going to be forced as the Moonfall comes down. Floops is absolutely annihilated by the Diana, with Fatty P picking up the kill. 3-0 now on that mid lane Lucian. But honestly, 1 kill for the Infernal Drake is completely worth it, in my opinion, for Vanir.
Definitely. And you're stacking up the bounty on the Lucian, so some nice gold if you can get him.
It's not even that. It just completely slows down any possibility of an early soul rush here.
True.
For Darkside. It means they have another 5 minutes to get this Kog'Maw scaled, which is really, really huge. Honestly, really, really huge. And yeah, I think buying themselves that extra time, especially when their Kog'Maw's starting to fall a little bit behind to the Ashe. About 20 CS, 0-2 on the Kog'Maw now, so it's not looking too hot for Floops in this bot lane. But I think, as you mentioned, he is storied enough of a player within the Swedish scene now to be able to come back from these kind of positions.
Yeah, I think in these fights so far, we're just seeing the ults come out. We saw the Ashe ult get the kill in the bot lane on the Renekton. We saw the Diana ult that coming in really clutch there. It's just a case of can the Vanir side kind of work around the fact that the dark side have such good ults and have such good team fighting ults, and how can they kind of maneuver around that, whether it be skirmishing, not kind of full on team fighting, or just using the TP advantages that they have to kind of work around that and avoid these fights. So it's going to be interesting to see what route they take and how they kind of go about this, especially with Darkside having the early lead in terms of kills.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, honestly. I think we could see a very early transition into 1-3-1 here for Vanir. With that Renekton, with that Sylas. The Sylas is obviously falling a little bit behind, as we do see an engage onto Fatty P here. The Nocturne ult going to come through. The Moonfall comes down into the culling, though, and it's Jungle J just being torn to shreds. The Lucian picks up a 4th, and Denzel surely going to fall quickly as well, but knows that Zalek going to teleport in. Fatty P, though, kept just alive by the wild growth. Piercing Light's going to seal his doom as Furby locks that one down. Now it's on to Floops and Kralix to run away. And
last game.
What looked initially like a very good pick from the side of Vanir gets completely turned on their heads. Furby waiting in the wings, catches both with the Moonfall, and that Diana has so much early damage with the Hextech Rocket Belt.
So now Vanir need to realize now that they've tried to team fight, they could not do it. They need to try and get gold in this game, try and avoid these team fights, especially when Lucian's got 4 kills now. He's 40 CS up. We've got Diana on 204 again. Just got the Proto Belt as well, so there's some very big items coming through, some very big bounties on the players, and they need to work a way around this, or the game's going to go even worse very quickly.
Yeah. But it's not even just the Rocket Belt. Having those Sorcerer's Shoes as well means that at this point in the game, there's no true tank on the side of Vanir. So that Diana is basically doing true damage at this point.
Yep.
Which is pretty rough for all 5 members of that Vanir team.
We have Drake coming up as well, and I just want to point out quickly, Drake coming up 140, we see no one around the bot side setting up vision. Obviously there's a bit already, but we've got the Herald coming up as well. It's a case of who's going to fight for what. Are they going to fight over both at one time, or are they going to trade it?
Honestly, what I would want to see from Vanir here is send Denzel bot. He's got the teleport. You don't really want to contest this Rift Herald anyway.
He's just sharing XP bot mid lane right now.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So you're not wanting to contest this fight anyway, because you don't win team fights at this point in the game. You just don't win team fights right now. Your Kog'Maw is non-existent, and the enemy Ashe already has a Kraken Slayer. You don't win team fights. So send your Sylas bot, let the Rift Herald go, try and keep the inner towers alive, as Zalek might be in trouble here from
Ashe has ult again.
Yeah, Ashe got the ultimate, got the slows, got the Kraken Slayer, got the true damage, and has turned that crocodile into a pincushion.
Now Vanir should be able to pick up this Drake here.
Even now, though, we don't see Denzel shoving out that bot lane. We've seen all 5 members of Darkside in topside jungle. You can't take that bot lane turret, but you can at least really start pressuring it. So if Darkside start moving towards the topside again, it's just some easy gold for you to pick up. And it's like you said, Vanir just need some kind of foothold in this game. Gold from anywhere.
And I'd just like to point out quickly the fact that 99% of channel points were put on Vanir this game. Shout out to Hijacker, who put 170 on Darkside, and the other 4 people.
Yes, indeed.
You're about to be very rich.
You are
to
indeed.
The moon.
To the moon. Darkside to the moon. But picking up this Mountain Drake, and this is where I want to quickly look back at that Infernal Drake for Floop's trade and look how even more worth it is. Because imagine you're at this level of deficit and the enemy team has 3 dragons. How much worse does that look than right now? As we see Denzel getting jumped onto by Furby the Diana, not opting to use the ultimate, but diving forward and taking a decent chunk away from the Sylas. As we are seeing an engaged topside, Chaos Senpai is just being bullied to start this series off. Flashes away though, and he is going to get himself out following the Facebreaker stun. Bot lane tower going to fall. I believe the Rift Herald was spawned in the bot side as well. They're going to look to get the charges through on the inner tower, really just systematically tearing Vanir to pieces, taking away each and every part of safety that they have on the map.
Yeah, it's very clean by Darkside so far. They know what they want and they're just taking it.
And the paranoia comes through. Chaos Senpai's in trouble. Lane Corralix is in trouble. He takes the culling all to his back and he only loses half of his HP. That's why we call it the tickling. But it is at least going to be an answer in this top side for Vanir. They might have lost 2 towers bot side, but they're going to get killed. They're going to get an inner tower on this top side. They're getting more gold into the Renekton. Now,
3 kills
I don't know
so
if the
far,
Renekton is really who you want the gold on right now. But Renekton, Nocturne, definitely going to be able to do things in these team fights with some of that gold.
Yeah, it's a case of, can he get anything done though? Obviously we have the Ashe ult, we have Illusion ult, they have so much damage on the Darkside side that they can just blow up the Renekton and then no one else really matters at this point, right?
Yeah.
Kog'Maw isn't really doing anything. The Sylas obviously...
I'm not sure how I feel about the Wit's End Rush from Floops either. I understand it, and it is a really, really good item for Kog'Maw, the Wit's End. But it's just into a Diana, so it seems a little bit strange to me. But I can understand it.
We've got some downtime here.
Yeah, I was about to say, we've entered a bit more of a lull state. There's not really going to be a lot going on. Baron spawning in about 30 seconds.
Oh, Ashe ult coming out.
Where is it going to go?
Where's the Sylas?
Yeah, okay. It was probably because it was about to time out.
I think it was aiming for the Lucian mid lane.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately.
Yeah, it was probably about to time out, so they just thought, why not? We might as well try it, right?
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. At this point on Vanir, you have to try something.
I feel like we're going to see a bit of a downtime until the next Drake's up. Obviously, Darkside, they're going to want this, and Vanir can kind of let this one go, but if they let this one go, then the next one is do or die for them. I mean, the game could be over in another 7 minutes if they lose that Darkside.
I think Darkside just look for Baron here, honestly. You have double AD carries, so you will absolutely melt that health.
Very true. I mean, I don't think Vanir are in a position to even try and fight for anything. They're
at least contesting the vision, which is good. It will slow down Darkside, and it might only buy them an extra 30, 45, even 60 seconds. But it's just that little bit of extra time. It's one, maybe two extra waves onto the Cogmore, which can make all the difference.
The question I have is, if Vanir get the perfect engage, can they still win these team fights?
Yes. You have Silas and Nocturne with a Cogmore. Yes, if you can keep that Cogmore alive, it doesn't matter if you have to go 5 for 4 in the team fight. If the Cogmore is still standing at the end of a team fight, Vanir are probably looking okay. There is so much damage coming out of that champion, especially now he's completed that Wit's End. The on-hit magic damage that Cogmore is going to be dealing is bordering on insane.
Yeah. Can we quickly get some... can we toggle the vision for Darkside around this Baron? Or Vanir, sorry. Can we just see...
I don't think
Vanir have nothing.
Anything. Yeah, Vanir cannot see anything around this Baron. It's all Darkside all the time.
Yeah, they have no...
Now they know.
There we go.
The Baron's already at half HP. And there's an Ash and a Lucian shredding it to pieces.
I tell you what,
Kraken Slayer Ash. Kralix loses a quarter.
Taking a lot of damage,
Furby's good. Zhonya's Hourglass coming through with the Moonfall. Furby going to keep himself alive. Paranoia is popped, and Furby is going to be the first kill of the fight, going over to Jungle J. The Dompunk dropping as well. One kill going over to Fatty P, though. Zalek going to get kited out by Frilla. And Frilla not going to be able to find the kill. Donated over to Chaos Senpai with the Haymaker. Denzel going to be picking Zalek up.
Vanir,
sorry. Yeah, Vanir. This is what we mean, though. The perfect engage. They kept the Cogmore alive. Fighting around the Baron, losing all of those resistances really, really hurts you.
Yeah, that
you lose so many resistances fighting around the Baron.
Yeah, they took a lot of damage to that. And the Drake coming up in 13 seconds as well. This is exactly what they need.
You have to remember, it was a 20-minute Baron. That was pretty much that was a 21, I believe, minute Baron when it was started up. So you're not scaled enough into the game. You don't have enough items to be fighting whilst on it. If you can just take it when the enemy team don't contest, sure. But if you have to fight, you are going to lose that fight every time because you do not have the raw stats. Does not matter about the gold lead, and we are going to see the dragons equalized here. So like you said, this is exactly what you needed if you are on the side of Vanir.
Definitely. They're looking for something here, though.
Yeah, we could see jumped on. Is going to spell shield away the Diana Q. Does not want to get jumped on. Baron actually not being taken. So it was just the dragon picked up there for Vanir. And as well as the mid-outer tower.
Yeah, I think it's a case of... We could see another fight in 4.5 minutes, but until then, I think Darkside know that they're not strong enough to actually try this now. Maybe they'll wait another few minutes, maybe try and secure the vision as well, but the problem is they had perfect vision then. Darkside, Vanir saw nothing. The only thing they saw, they used the vision cone once, and then Nocturne obviously altered, but...
That is the power of the Paranoia, though, being able to switch off all of those wards. And this just, cause chaos.
This is the thing, like, no matter how far behind Vanir are, they can always Nocturne ult into a fight, or into the Baron, should I say, and have that sort of 50-50 steal.
Yeah, they can always have that chance. They can always have that chance, and that is the important thing. That is the thing that is going to matter the most for Vanir. And with a Cogmore, can't afford to be losing fights like that anymore as Darkside floops. He's now got more CS than anyone else on the Rift. He might only have the one kill, but he's up to 2 items now. Got that shield bow, so has the portable Shen ult and the Wit's End. He's not going to be taking a whole lot of damage. He's going to actually start taking quite a lot to kill this Cogmore at this point.
If Darkside realizes Nocturne's around the bot side, this
could be risky here. Denzel going to get jumped on. Dashing over the wall from Fatty P. Everfrost's going to come in huge. The Ashok catches onto Kralix. Fatty P's already found Denzel. Glacial Fissure going to come through. Furby is getting chunked down. Wild Growth going to drop through. Cogmore finds the first kill. Yeah, this is what I mean. The Cogmore is scaled. The Cogmore is here. The Cogmore is ready. And Jungle J finds the smite. Keeps his blue buff. 1-for-1 trade. Support. Oh no, mid laner, sorry, for jungler.
What I loved about that fight is both top laners were just kind of...
We see another fight, though, the Renekton engaging. Showstopper onto 4, though. It's huge from Chaos Senpai. The stun coming through onto Floops, but he is going to be able to kite away. Chaos Senpai going to drop to Zalek at the start of the fight. It's 3 versus 4, but it is Darkside with the initiative. Darkside with the health bars. Darkside with the kills. Dom Ponk escaping on a sliver, but Friller and Fatty P, the AD carries, the marksman duo, going to be able to find them all. As Dom Ponk drops in sacrifice, it is going to be, I believe, 3 for 3 in total. No!
A Kog'Maw ult.
4 for 3 in
the, sorry.
Yeah, 4 for 3 in the Vanir favor as Floops finds Friller.
Yeah, there was a few key skill shots hit there, which could have made it even more on a Vanir side. A few Qs from the Braum, but overall, another good fight for Vanir here. Like, they're doing pretty well in the fights to say how far they were at the start, far down they were at the start. So, yeah, it's going very well for them to say how far behind they were at the start.
Yeah, that gold lead closing up now to just around 3,000 is starting to close up, and I hope this game is going to be setting the tone for the entire series. This has been a really interesting one to keep an eye on so far.
Definitely.
So I hope that this is going to be how the whole series plays out for us. And every time you seem to think, oh, we've entered a bit of a quiet period, we get another team fight. So I'm waiting for you to say those magical words again, Chris.
Oh, we've entered a bit of a quiet period. The one thing that I found interesting about that fight is both top laners were kind of just walking next to each other trying to get to the fight that was happening, just ignoring each other, just both trying to get there as quick as possible. It was funny to see on the map. So,
well, both of them must be thinking, oh, well, my team will win this, so I don't need to fight you. And they're both thinking that, running towards it.
Definitely.
And it's just, yeah, it happens, I guess.
I'd like to announce as well, I have just got a 25% off Uber Eats code. Ends on the 12th of August. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored at all. We wish. Uber Eats, if you're listening and you want to come sponsor us over here at Invul, get in contact. Our Twitter DMs are always open.
So am mine. I do take sponsorship deals.
Pralex just pops up that shield, and now he has that natural tankiness on the Braum. He loses about a quarter of his health bar, but right now, a Braum really not going to be that bothered. Dragon spawning in about, I think that's 10 seconds, is it? Yeah, 8 seconds till the dragon is going to hit the rift. Would be third Drake for either of these teams, and if you can stack up triple Mountain Drake, you will be getting surprisingly tanky.
Yeah, the Drake's even, obviously, like you said, it's a case of both teams can drop this if they want to. Obviously, we have the Baron on the map at the same time. Oh, and it's just gone.
It's going to be picked up by Furby, so Vanir not even going to want to try and contest that one.
And this is what I don't like in these situations. If you're not going to contest the Drake, do something else on the opposite side of the map. Yep. Set up vision. Clear side waves. We have the side wave and the top wave pushing towards Vanir right now. Sort that out. You know, get rid of the vision. Just do something else. Don't kind of sit around mid lane as 5 of you and just do nothing. You need to be proactive and try and at least recover some of that bit.
Yeah, definitely. You always want to try and be doing something on the map when the other team is not there. If the other team's getting an advantage in the bot lane, go get yourself a different advantage in the top lane. Exactly like you mentioned. But we are starting to move past that 15-25 minute period. This Kog'Maw's really scary.
Yeah, he's kind of snuck under the radar a bit.
Terrifying. 4-3-2, 270 CS now as we crest the 28-30 mark.
We still have
Shield Bow, Hurricane, and Wit's End. I would not want to be on the Darkside roster right now.
7 kills on the Lucian though. Still got that big juicy 700 gold shutdown that I'm definitely the Kog'Maw would love in his pocket.
Oh, I mean, any of the Vanir members other than really the Braum would love it. Renekton's going to be popped there. Thriller's getting dove on. Wild Growth comes through as the Fear is going to get channeled.
Good Renekton.
Looking on the flank. He's got into the flank, but Jungle Jay is going to be the first one to fall. Glacial Fissure coming through. Double stopwatch is popped by Darkside, but Thriller is instantly deleted from the remainder of the fight. And Furby going to follow very shortly after. Floops does fall, though, to Chaos Senpai, the man who has taken out so much in the early game. Zalek going to be zoning off towards the top side. Is Fatty P going to cut through the crocodile, make himself some nice crocodile skin shoes to wear to an after party tonight. And this time, Darkside, they find the fight, they find the kills. Are they going to find the Baron this time, CJ?
They have to, surely. I don't think Braum's stealing this one, is he?
We've seen it. We've seen stranger things before. All I have to say is Licorice Orn at Worlds.
True, very true. But I feel like, again, we see Vanir engage a fight.
We see Kralix walking up to this Baron, actually looking around the area. Doesn't have the flash, so can't get himself into the pit. Doesn't have the Glacial Fissure either, so would have to run at it. I don't think he's going to be able to grab it. Go on, Kralix. Oh, tries the Winter's Bite over the wall, but Fatty P body blocking that one, dashing away as well. Not going to be able to catch any exit kills. And it is, I believe, 5 members of Darkside that will have this Baron buff.
I think the one thing that's interesting about that last fight is that, again, Vanir, the first time they've engaged a fight, probably in, 10, 15 minutes maybe, and they lose the fight. Darkside have been engaging on them all the time, and Vanir are that have come out on top. So it seems, whichever team obviously starts the fight, seems to be losing it. So we're in a situation where Vanir, they've got back into the game. They can obviously not win the Barons up now, but they can use the advantage. They still have the TP advantages. We haven't seen them use that once, their advantage. So
yeah, they could. I mean, obviously into Baron, it's very risky to take a 1-3-1. But I think with the Renekton you have on the top side, I think you definitely can abuse that teleport advantage. Sylas also very good on the side lane. So even if you wanted to go 4-1 in your Baron defense, Renekton and Sylas, they don't offer masses to that wave player. So why not send them top to try and get an extra advantage?
Definitely.
I don't really know what Darkside are looking for here. Just taking away as many resources as they can in the jungle. Maybe looking for a bit of a death push. If someone from Vanir tries to step forward too far, warding. Going to grab the top inner turret as well. Dragon spawning in about a minute's time. So I would like to see Darkside change their focus over towards this bot side jungle after this push. Because we are going to see potentially an engaged Glacial Fissure going to get thrown down. Kralix trying to keep himself alive. Chaos Senpai with the Wild Growth ticking away. Turret's going to fall and Kralix is instantly deleted. The Moonfall coming through and the Paranoia now as well. Darkside engaging the fight. Darkside winning the fight. Fatty P dashing forward, finding a second kill. Showstopper going to end things for Denzel. 1 kill going over to the side of Vanir, but it's 4 in return for the Darkside. Baron buff still running. Wave is being taken away by Zalek. Zalek, and that could just be game right there.
Yeah, I think it is. One small thing is that the Cogmore did get the 1,000 gold from Lucian, but I think it's too late.
Maybe as they're hammering down on the Nexus turrets. Darkside going to take game 1 of this series unless Zalek can pull off some ungodly heroics. Darkside obviously going to play for that KDA. Respawn's going to come through now though. Kralix is alive. Massive from Zalek, sorry, but the Zonya's just going to give the free Nexus over to Darkside.